All right, hello everyone, this is Mr. Kirsch. I'm going to go over some of the practice 2.3 problems, the quiz here. We have to solve these equations and we have to give the general solutions. We have answers at the bottom, so here we go. Problem number 1 says sine squared x minus or equals 1. Well, if I take the square root of both sides, now I'm down to sine of x is equal to plus or minus 1. If I inverse sine, now I have x is equal to inverse sine of plus or minus 1. So where on the unit circle is sine 1 or negative 1? Well, it's here and here. It's at pi over 2 plus 3 pi over 2. So what I always do is I always write my general form. And my general form is pi over 2 plus 2 pi n, 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi n. And now that I have that, I ask myself, can I simplify it? And in this case, it does simplify because these two angles are directly right across from each other. So another way to write it would be just to say that I could spin around the circle by just adding pi. So it just simplifies down to pi over 2 plus 2 pi n. Again, this is okay, but you want to simplify it down to here. All right, on number 2, we have cosine of 3x is equal to 1/2. Inverse cosine both sides, and now I have 3x is equal to inverse cosine of 1/2. Well, where is cosine 1/2? It's at this tall angle and this tall angle here, and those angles are pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. But in this case, they don't simplify because they're not directly across from each other, so I can't just add on a pi. Well, now the thing about this is I didn't solve for x, I solved for 3x. So now I need to divide everything by 3. This divided by 3 is pi over 9. This divided by 3 is 2 pi n. And the same thing over here. I need to divide by 3 because I solved for 3x. On number 3, now I've solved for, if you look at the math here, I've solved for x over 4. So my angles are pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. And I add on my 2 pi always add on that, and then ask yourself, can I simplify it? In this case, no. So now watch what I do. I times by 4. This would be 4 6 reduces down to 2/3. 2 times 4 is 8, and this would be 26, which reduced to 10/3, and plus 8 pi n. Should have circled these. All right, and the last question here. We have this equation that says 5 sine x equals 2 sine squared x plus 3. Well, if I subtract this over here, I have it lined up like this quadratic equation that needs to be factored, so I can split it into two different branches here. Well, here's our steps for factoring again. Remember, we take the 2 times the 3 is 6. But it needs to add up to -5 in the middle. Well, these two numbers, -2 and -3, they multiply to give me that 6, and they add to give me the 5 that I needed. However, remember, since we don't have a 1 here, we factor this by grouping. The -5x breaks apart into the -2 and the -3. Now I can factor the first group, factor the second group, factor a 2x out of here, and a -3 out of here, and then there's my two factors. I have an x minus 1 and a 2x minus 3. Remember this step for factoring. Now I go back to the world of sine, and now I have my two equations. 2x minus 3, 2 sine x minus 3. X minus 1, sine x minus 1. A branch here and a branch here. And on this one here, we have sine would equal 3x, and if I go ahead and if I do this math, let me just go ahead and work this out here. If I have x is equal to inverse sine of 3/2, if I try to put that on my calculator, inverse sine of 3/2, I'd have a domain here. You can't sine something larger than 1, right? Sine doesn't go larger than 1, so there are no solutions on this side of the branch. On this side of the branch, sine is 1 only in this one spot. So I add on that angle plus 2 pi. Always plus put the 2 pi in at the end and see if you can simplify it. All right, hope this helps with your homework.